Hey guys, it is Jess here with Watch Kitty Shrink. I'm actually filming this video the same day that I filmed my subscriber giveaway video, but I changed shirts so that it wouldn't look like the same day. But here I am confessing that to you guys, so I'm not really sure what the point was. But I was tagged in the comments of her video by Patrice, aka MadeUpMama, to do the weight loss surgery tag, confessions from my fat diary. And I'm still pre-op, but I have been already working on changing my eating habits and stuff, which I know we're supposed to do. It's going to make surgery a lot easier. And so there are a lot of these confessions that I've already conquered, so I feel comfortable talking about them. And then the last one I'm going to save is something that I still have a hard time with, something that, to be honest, I just did today. And then I thought, 20 minutes later, I thought, why? That's so stupid. I have notes. They are a little bit of everywhere, so I'm going to try to make some sense out of them. But before I start talking about these, I want to talk for just a second about food addiction, because I'm pretty sure all of these that I'm going to tell you all about, some of them are just like, because I'm a picky eater, so I have like unhealthy eating habits, but 90% of my problem is that I do have a food addiction. And when you hear some of these, it's literally going to sound like someone suffering from a drug addiction. And I know what that's like, because substance abuse is actually something that runs in my family, something that quite a few family members of mine have dealt with. And so I know what it's like to see someone going through that. And anyone who tells you that food addiction is not the same as an alcohol or a food or like a drug addiction, then they've clearly never suffered from it themselves, because I promise you it is. The same kind of desperation, secretism, all of that. It is exactly the same. Even the detox is the same. So basically what this is confessions from my fat diaries. So let's see. Number one, this is something that Patrice said herself and C. Jane Shrink. I'm not trying to steal your all's ideas. I think a lot of us just have some of the same bad habits. So that is eating my lunch for breakfast. So I would eat a breakfast at home, say cereal or something like that, and then I would say, look at me, I'm being so healthy. Instead of eating out today, I'm going to pack a lunch. Now, I would say this to my parents like they gave a shit what I eat. They love me irregardless. They literally could not care less. But just like an addict, I felt like I had to justify myself. So look at me. I'm eating healthy. So I would eat that breakfast at home, the cereal or bacon sandwich, whatever. I would eat that around 7 o'clock. And at this time, I worked 45 minutes from my home. And I would go to work, and by 8:30, I would eat that lunch that I packed. And then by 12 o'clock, I would eat another lunch. And then I would eat supper and a snack and yada, yada, yada. So basically, I don't know who I thought that was going to help by packing a lunch that I knew in my head, as I was packing it, as I took it out the door, as I was bragging on myself for taking a healthy lunch, that I would eat it the second I walked into work. Let's see. Okay, this one is really bad. I would eat lunch foods for breakfast, and I used to never really think it was that big of a deal, because I was like, why does it matter which kind of foods it is? You know, as long as you're eating something. But, so, one thing I like to do is, if I have, like, say my family ate Mexican food. Now, Jessie Cat here never had any food left. Let's not play around like that actually happened. But, like, my dad, he struggles with his weight too. And I honestly have no idea why, because the man eats like a bird. Like, he just eats a few little bites at a time. So he would always have food left over. And so I would eat his food the next morning for breakfast. So you're talking 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm eating like 2 taquitos and rice, or like fajitas and rice. And then still having, you know, fast food for lunch and then supper. Just so unhealthy. And there's also a restaurant in my town. I'm going to say it because there's a couple people that follow me that are local here. And for those of you who are not, my accent's probably going to come out really bad when I say it. But there's a restaurant called DIARIES. And they serve breakfast and lunch all day. So I would go through the drive-thru at 7 o'clock in the morning and get a hamburger and french fries. And sometimes a milkshake at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not going to say I didn't know it was wrong, but I couldn't stop myself, I guess. Speaking of having hamburgers for breakfast, here is another confession. I would eat hamburger meat, like real hamburger meat, like ground beef, whatever you call it. Like not the lean version, real life hamburger meat, like 3 or 4 times a week. I would have hamburgers, tacos, sloppy joes, spaghetti, which my version of spaghetti doesn't have noodles, not because of the diet, I just don't like noodles, but something with hamburger meat in it 2 or 3 times a day, 3 or 4 times a week. That is so unhealthy for numerous reasons, and I didn't care. Like I mentioned before, I'm a picky eater. Hamburger meat's like one of the only things I used to eat, and so I would eat it all the time. So the next one is getting fast food every day for weeks at a time and eating some of it before I went home. So it's nothing to look back on it now and say that there were probably months at a time where I ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner fast food. Breakfast, it could be the hamburger and fries that I mentioned. For lunch, it was likely Wendy's because that's my best friend's favorite restaurant. So, spicy chicken sandwich and french fries. And then, for supper, it was McDonald's. Now, everybody has their food addictions or, their weakness. Mine to this minute is McDonald's. And it's embarrassing to say this, but this is what I would do. I would go through the drive-thru and I would get 2 double cheeseburgers, 2 10-piece chicken nuggets, and 2 large fries. And I would pull over and I would eat 1 double cheeseburger, a 10-piece chicken nugget, and a large fry. And then I would go home, and I live 10 minutes from there. And I would go home with my family and eat another one, the other double cheeseburger, hamburger, 10-piece chicken nugget, and french fry, like I hadn't just sat right there and eat that same meal before. Just because it is such a trigger food for me, I can consume so much of it. And I was ashamed to let people know that I was eating that much. And my family could look at me. You can look at me and tell that I was certainly eating more than it appeared, but I felt like I had to hide it, like I had to be secret because I was ashamed of it. Okay, here's another one. Before I got on birth control, this one might be a little TMI. Before I got on birth control, I used to have these really bad periods. And they would be so bad that I wouldn't want to, even hardly move. They would be so bad. And I would sometimes fake being on my period or fake having a bad period so that I wouldn't have to move. And so, if my family wanted to go for a walk, instead of being the typical fat girl, I didn't want to be the stereotypical fat girl who couldn't go for a walk, and I didn't want to admit that, so I would just say, oh, I'm on my period, and I would lay around on the couch and have them worried about me, thinking, I was having this terrible period again, and I wasn't. I just didn't want to go out, and I would even use that to be oh, I'm on my period, I need some chocolate, or I need this, or I need that, and I would get it just because I wanted it, and I didn't want to admit that I just wanted these things. There had to be a reason why I wanted these things. Another one is self-medicating with food. That kind of goes back to the period thing. If I didn't feel good, if I was stressed, whatever, I would be well, I really need McDonald's today, don't you guys think? Because I feel so bad. Or I really need a candy bar. I think I've earned it because I feel so bad. And here is one of the worst. when it comes to self-medicating is I've mentioned in some of my videos that I suffer from anxiety. And I have sort of developed myself, like my coping mechanism is to eat. Like, I can remember one time being so stressed out, like I thought I was losing my job. And I was so stressed out that I was like, oh my gosh, I've just got to go get some McDonald's because that'll calm me down. I don't know if I think all the food weighing me down is somehow going to smother the anxiety or whatever. But I remember doing that. And I went and I ate to the point where I felt like I didn't have any control. Like, I just eat so much. And let me just tell you guys, I promise you, this is a fact. Food does not help with anxiety. Chicken nuggets does not ease anxiety. None of that. I mean, and I know that. That makes no logical sense. It's never been proven in the history of time that a chicken McNugget will solve your anxiety or depression. But that's what I did. And I saved this one for last because I did it just today. And I realized that while I have fixed these other things, there's always going to be things that I still have to work on with this, because it is an addiction. And no matter how much weight I lose after this surgery, and I am going to change my lifestyle, there's always going to be times when bad habits come back on me. I'm always going to have kind of big girl mentality. And so if you follow me on Instagram, you will see that I've officially lost 17 pounds. And 12 of that is from pre-op of my surgery. And I've been really excited about it because I decided to try a partial liquid diet last week just to see how it's going to be in 3 weeks when I have to start my official liquid diet. So for breakfast and lunch every day this week, I had a shake, a protein shake, Premier Protein, and then I would have a sensible supper, like I had like one day I had like the boneless, skinless chicken breast strips. I had one of those in a salad, like stuff like that. And when I got on the scale this morning, I had lost 3 pounds, and I was really excited about that. So for lunch today, I decided to celebrate. So what I have exactly written down here is treating myself like a dog by rewarding myself with food. So I rewarded this 3-pound loss with an order of cheese sticks. That's so counterproductive, and it's so stupid, and it didn't even register to me how like self-destructive I was being. I was just like, yes, I want some cheese sticks. I've lost 3 pounds. I've got to celebrate. Now, luckily, 2 or 3 bites into my second one, I realized what I was doing, and I threw them away. I didn't want to look at them. I didn't want to be tempted. I ate 2. I finished the one I was eating. So I ate 2 and I threw them away. Whereas before I could eat the whole box because it's like the little $5 box from Little Caesars. But that's so crazy that we do that to ourselves. And so I'm really glad that this VSG journey, even in pre-op, it has helped me change my lifestyle so much. But I'm not going to come on YouTube and pretend like I'm perfect. Britt Bratt said one time that the magical, I can't remember exactly how she said it, but the perfect, magical, never flawed weight loss surgery patient simply doesn't exist. And that's the truth, because any of us that are overweight, we all have something that is hard for us to overcome. So we just have to acknowledge that and move on. If somebody comes on here and tells you they never cheat or anything like that, that's good for them, but I don't know that that's 100% the truth. I hate to call somebody a liar. They might be perfect at it, but it's very, very difficult. So I wanted to, I don't have my paper of the people that I wanted to tag. Oh, hang on. I think I have it over here. Hang on. Okay. Here are the people I want to tag to do this video. And if I say your name's wrong, I'm sorry. I'm awful. And I can't even read my own handwriting. But I will also put your links in the description box. So, of course, I'm going to tag Claire. She knew from the second she clicked on this video that she was not going to have a choice. I mean, I bully her. I mean, no, I really don't. But she knows that she has to do everything I do because I'm a little bit of a brat. And I like her to do stuff. So, Claire, you knew You knew when you clicked on the video it was going to happen. And if you try to avoid the video, you know I'm going to send it to you 100 times. So you're tagged. I would also like to tag VSG Brit Brat, EC VSG Journey 2016, VSG for Baby B, Fit to Fab Mama, and Lost and Found. I cannot wait to see your all's videos. And if anybody wants to do this that I didn't tag, please do it. And comment me with your video so I can make sure I don't miss it. Thanks for watching my Confessions from My Fat Diary, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.